Ah, hello. One second. One moment. My camera working? I guess not. Hold on. One moment. One moment. Hello. Oh, there I am. There I am. Hello. Hello. It is Saturday. Normal Terraria stream today. Let me turn this music back up right now. And today we're going to continue our fight of the Wall of Flesh and try to get through that today. Got another 2.5 hour session, so hopefully we can make some headway, maybe. We have an idea of what to do during the fight now, so my muscle memory might be, kicking in during the fight or something, just to get through it. Um, my hair's different, as you can see, obviously. Me and my mom twisted it yesterday, because it's been a while since I've really done anything with it, so she thought it would be a fun idea to twist it so we can get some good curls in it when it's not twisted, you know? So it's gonna be like that today and probably tomorrow as well. Um, all right, well, let's go ahead and get into this. I should say I apologize if my mic audio is a little loud. I'm trying to look at my levels here. I'm trying out some different stuff here because I've noticed my mic gain has been a little low recently, so it kind of cuts out my voice sometimes at the end of sentences. So I'm trying to turn it up and like balance that with the game, but it's hard to tell exactly how loud the game should be now. It's gonna like overpower me or not. I don't really know. I noticed on Tuesday it was a bit low. I kind of forgot to check on Thursday, so hopefully it's not too loud today. I know it's gonna get louder when we get into the fight, so I'll keep an eye on that. Um, yeah, I guess we can just go ahead and get started. We don't really have anything else to talk about today. Um, if we need more voodoo dolls, we can always just start a blood moon and head into the underworld and turn on the ultimate battler or whatever and get like 30 of them in like a minute. So we're not really worried about running out of voodoo dolls. Uh, we're just worried about fighting it and beating the boss. A couple things I feel I should mention as we get started. So I added that sky bridge, or it's not really a sky bridge, but a bridge on the opposite end of the on the underworld now. So we can use gravitation potions and kind of move a little bit more efficiently, probably. So that will be going for us. I tried fighting the wall one time after I built it just to see how it would feel. And turns out the wall actually, like the components, like the eyeballs and the mouth, actually move around as needed. So I thought like by building this, the top eye would be blocked and wouldn't be able to shoot us, but it just kind of moved down, so it can still shoot us. But they're in a tighter space now. They're all going to be within this little area right here, so um, should be a bit of a tighter um, target for me to hit, a smaller target, I should say. Um, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's a smaller target, but it's going to be easier to hit. Usually a smaller target is harder to hit, but I guess in this case a smaller target is easier to hit. So that'll be fine. And during that attempt that I did, I think I only got about halfway, and I died during phase 2 pretty early, so I don't think it's like a catch-all to save us from the fight, but I think it'll make it a little bit easier. And I was thinking, while I was building this, I was thinking about how there's not really much else we can do to help us in the fight at this point, except for the idea of building new housing and getting some more NPCs. Because we don't know which NPCs are kind of waiting to spawn, you know? So there could be a possibility of an NPC spawning in that could actually help us. I don't know which one. I don't really have an idea of what NPCs are on standby right now, but that kind of crossed my mind as I was building this little platform here. I was like, you know what? If nothing else, we could build some more housing underground and in the mushroom biome, and that would give us at least 6 new houses, if not like 8, maybe even 10. So we could do that if we really are struggling during this fight. But I'm going to give it a while. Seems like we're kind of blowing through this first half fairly easily. So let's just keep going. I'm going to try using this Knight's Ray again, because this did give us the most damage last time. It did kind of limit my focus, so it might do the same today. But let's try it. Just getting back into the swing of things. I know I said I attempted the boss one time off stream, but that was it. And that was during, you know, while I was building that platform. So that was probably like 5 days ago or something like that. All right. So my week was okay this week. It's been a little chaotic, in a way. It's not been a bad week. It's not stressful like some of the other weeks during the summer have been for me. But this week was a little chaotic, just kind of all over the place. I started a new series on Twitch. I dropped my Tiny Tina's Wonderland playthrough because the game just does not work on my laptop. It's about the limit of what my laptop can handle, like my GPU and all that stuff, especially while streaming. So I decided to drop it because it's becoming more of a hassle to try to record and stream it, and it really just burns me out when I try to play it. So I guess technically I've failed the 100% attempt on that game, but I do plan to return to it eventually. What I'm doing now, excuse me, what I'm doing now is going through the rest of the Borderlands games in order, because Tiny Tina's does fit in within the story of Borderlands in a way. I don't think it's technically a mainline game. We don't see a lot of recurring characters. They introduce a lot of characters that I don't know will return in Borderlands 4. And most of the characters that do return are kind of swapped, because it's a role-playing game. As in, the story of the game revolves around Dungeons and Dragons. So characters in that game from the Borderlands franchise are like given their own in-universe characters. It's weird to explain, but it's like character on top of character. It's just kind of weird. So like it's a mainline game in a way. Like it's kind of canon and it takes place at a certain point within the story, but it's not really mainline, you know what I mean? So what I've decided to do is just go through the rest of the Borderlands games. I'm starting with number 1, and we're going to go through number 1. We're going to go through the pre-sequel, number 2, Tales from the Borderlands, Borderlands 3, no, I think Borderlands 2, Tales from the Borderlands, and then we're going to go back to Tiny Tina's, finish that up, and then move on to Borderlands 3 and Borderlands 4. If I remember correctly, I think Borderlands 3 takes place way after Borderlands 2, and Tiny Tina's takes place pretty soon after Borderlands 2, so we're gonna go number 2, Tales, number 3, and then number 4. So I'll be going through those over the next, probably, like 2 years or something like that, honestly. All of those games are pretty big, so I think 100%ing them is going to take quite a long time. Okay, turns out my muscle memory does not help me here because I don't know how to use this platform in the fight. I don't really know if it's helping me. I don't think it's hurting me, but I don't really know if it's helping me all that much either. I think if anything, it does close off the top of the underworld to me, so I don't end up like catching myself on some kind of ash block and messing up my momentum, so that's nice. It does limit where I can go, so it kind of forces my brain to think a bit more efficiently, kind of. I'm not worried about, you know, catching myself and slowing down on some platform up here, but I also have less room to move in general. So I can only go so many spots to dodge, which is cool. For now, I think I'm gonna try to just fight this guy like normal, and not, you know, switch gravity too much, or else I might confuse myself. I didn't really think about it, but during the second phase, if I switch gravity, the eyeballs actually kind of change where they're at relative to me. So, like, I'll show you guys what I mean when we get to the second phase. But, like, now, if I switch gravity, I can just keep shooting in this direction and nothing changes. But that isn't the case during the second phase. So like here, if we have an eyeball, if we have this pattern of eyeballs right now, so like bottom left, bottom right, right? If I switch gravity, all of a sudden they switch to top right and top left. So they essentially get mirrored, which is interesting. I didn't really think about that before I started, you know, building the platform. So if I'm using like the Knight's Ray, which is it involves a lot of precision when I shoot it, and, you know, the eyeballs are constantly changing where they're at because I'm switching my gravity, then that's kind of a problem. If I use the bee gun, maybe that will mitigate that because the bees, you know, just home in anyways. So we could do this, maybe, and that could help out. But, you know, we are getting less damage out of the bees, of course. But we can try that. I was still talking about my week. I kind of interrupted myself. I was talking about Borderlands. We're starting a Borderlands 1 playthrough. I just did the first 5 episodes um, on Tuesday. I'm gonna start the next 5 next Tuesday. So that'll be fun. I'm already enjoying myself. Not that I wasn't with Tina's. It's just that, you know, running the game was not enjoyable. But I enjoyed the game itself. You know what? This actually works out pretty well. I can just switch gravity anytime a laser's coming towards me. I'm able to dodge it. We're still getting pretty good damage out of the bee gun, actually. Maybe I'll just keep this going for a while. So other than the Borderlands stuff, my streaming schedule has remained the same, so that's not really chaotic. But I've started to work on a video project, which I've talked about plenty of times before. It's a music-related video essay. I want to start up a music essay channel that talks about like music analysis and music theory and stuff like that, and just talk about why I like certain songs, certain albums and artists and all that stuff. I'm trying to get that off the ground. It's taking a long time for sure. I'm making good headway. I really sat down and spent quite a few hours writing my script and finalizing that. And what I have so far for the first video, I haven't spoken the script myself yet, so it's still, you know, bound to change a little bit. But I use a text-to-speech reader to, like, hear it out loud and to edit it and all that stuff. And it's about an hour long. I don't know if I speak slowly or quickly, so maybe that, you know, that time will change. It might be a little bit longer, it might be a little bit shorter. But it's going to be probably longer than 40 minutes, but less than 90 minutes. And I'm going to be talking about some music and some music theory, in depth, like a really deep dive about one song. So I'm going to be doing that. The script is done, like I said. I don't know when I'm going to start recording it, but I need to start gathering B-roll and editing clips, which is what I was working on yesterday. I had to label a bunch of like where to edit stuff and like if the edit would be easy. I like color coded it as green. I said, okay, I've got all these green edits I can work on right away. And once I have those out of the way, I can start tackling like the red edits, which are going to be a little bit more tricky. You know what I mean? So probably going to be doing that today and tomorrow. And then sometime next week, I'm going to have to start recording if I want to get this done and get it out. I'm just kind of realizing how long it takes to do that, so... You know, if it turns out that it just takes way too much time to get one video out, I might just not do it, or treat it as kind of a once-in-a-while thing instead of treating it as kind of like an extended hobby. It would be nice to get them monetized, but like I said, this would be my first video, so I really don't know what I'm doing. I've never created like an edited video like this. I've never spoken in front of a camera for that long with a script. I know I speak here for multiple hours at a time, but that's unscripted and it's not really for anything huge. So that's going to be a bit different. And yeah, I just don't know how long it's going to take me to do all of that. So, who knows when that will be done. I was also working on, like, the channel aesthetics. So, like, I made my profile picture, the banner for YouTube, and the thumbnail for the video, and consequently the format for the rest of the videos, pretty much. I'm not a graphic designer by any means. I did not study it at all in high school or college, so again, I really have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to, like, making that kind of stuff. But I did my best. I'll show you guys sometime, probably not today, just because I want to keep playing this game. But sometime I'll show you guys what I've done, how it looks, and all that stuff. But that, just making those things, just one profile picture, one banner, and the thumbnail, took me hours just to do that. It wasn't, like, super excruciating or anything. I was able to figure it out eventually, but, you know, brainstorming ideas and trying to realize those ideas with my minimal skills in Photoshop took me quite a while. So I'm glad I was able to get something, you know, that I like, and that I think could carry the channel for a while, you know? It's not like I just scribbled on a screen and just have that as my profile picture. It's a bit more, I don't know, I don't want to toot my own horn too much, because again, I don't think it looks like amazing or anything, but I think it looks fine. It's serviceable. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. It's serviceable. So yeah, all I really have to do now is gather my editing clips, record my script, and then punch in the edits when I need them, which is probably going to be the most time-consuming part of this whole process so far, but it's pretty nice knowing that I don't really have to do anything else. At least not that I know of. Alright. That was a decent attempt right there. We got a little bit further than we've been getting. I think the B-gun strategy works just fine. Pretty much anything else that we use, I think will get more DPS, but we do have to focus on actually hitting the wall. So it's going to take away some of my brain power, I think. So we'll stick with this. I think our accessories are fine. I like having the granite core to take care of leeches when they pop out. We're not worried about stress pills because we're not going to get adrenaline all that much anyways. And sacrificing our healing for a little bit of extra damage I don't think is quite worth it here. I think this is fine. Let me try to calm down a little bit so I can actually improve a bit more. And again, if we really need to, we'll go ahead and build some housing we can get maybe some new items from some new NPCs. But, you know, we know that's not really a guarantee to help, because I don't know what NPCs are going to spawn in once we build that housing. So this setup and this strategy is the best we've got so far. Once I learn how to use this platform a bit more effectively, maybe that will push us over the edge. But for now, I just kind of don't know how to use it super, super well. And obviously, we still just want to survive for a long time, especially if we're using the bee gun. So, see, something like that is horrible, because we just got hit like 5 times in a row by that wall of fireballs. So stamina is going to be our friend here. We're going to be in it for the long run, so to speak. Oh, okay. So yeah, anyways, I was talking about my week. I was talking about the video essay stuff. It's been going well. It's taken a long time. It is very tiring to get all of that done. I think once I end up finishing this one video, I think the future videos will be easier to make because I have an idea of how the process goes now, and I can actually carve out time in my schedule that I know will actually get me there. You know, whereas before, I didn't really know how much time something would take, so I could, like, have an hour free to do something, and then I would sit down for an hour and maybe work on the script a little bit, but not really get much progress done because I just didn't really have an idea of the time it takes to write something like that, you know? I'm gonna try to finish this one video. I'm gonna try to hunker down for the next week and get my edits done as best as I can. And hopefully I can start working on more videos. Because again, it would be nice to get them monetized. I don't really know if they will pick up any traction on YouTube, but if they do, that'd be great. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of throwing out a Hail Mary. Okay, I think in the beginning of the fight, I've noticed that I kind of run away really quickly. And I think it's causing me some trouble. I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I think when the wall charges at you really quickly to catch up with you, if you run away too quickly, it becomes more aggressive for a few seconds. So it'll shoot more lasers, it'll deal more damage, all of that stuff. But I think running away at the very beginning of the fight is actually really harmful. It's still not really easy to dodge all this stuff, but, you know, it helps not to get this guy aggravated, you know? Okay. Starting to regress a little bit. I don't really know what happened. I'm gonna go ahead and take that shadow chest away as well. That's been kind of getting on my nerves. I just left it there because I didn't think it'd be a problem. But it seems like I hit it every time I pass by that area. So let me go ahead and get rid of that.